The weight of silence. When Ngozi was just 15 years old, her world was shattered. Her parents, the pillars of her life, were killed in a car accident. Grieving and alone, she was sent to live with her aunt and uncle in their small house in the outskirts of Lagos. At first, the change was difficult, but her aunt, a kind woman in her early 40s, did what she could to make Ngozi feel welcome. Her uncle, a man of few words, kept mostly to himself. But as time passed, Ngozi started to feel the weight of things she couldn't understand. At night, her uncle would visit her room under the pretense of comforting her, and what started as small, inappropriate gestures soon escalated. She felt trapped, powerless, and too afraid to speak. When she did muster the courage to confront him, he only silenced her with threats. "No one will believe you," he would say, "and your aunt will throw you out." Her world grew darker, and the secret of her abuse festered inside her. At the age of 17, Ngozi discovered she was pregnant. Panic gripped her, and she tried to hide it for as long as possible. But her aunt soon found out. The look in her eyes when the truth was revealed was not one of compassion, but of disdain. Her aunt, not wanting to ruin her own reputation, cast Ngozi out into the streets with nothing but the clothes on her back. Alone and terrified, Ngozi wandered through the streets of Lagos, struggling to survive. The days blurred into one another, each harder than the last. She found refuge in a small, run-down shelter for women, where she gave birth to a baby girl she named Ada. With no education, no family, and no hope, Ngozi scraped together a life for her daughter in the shadows of society. Years passed, and Ngozi grew weary. Her thoughts often turned to her aunt, to the betrayal, and to the childhood she had lost. She wondered what could have been different if her family had protected her, if her uncle had been a man of honor, if her aunt had fought for her instead of against her. Regret consumed her, not just for what happened, but for the life she had to give up. For the love she could never receive. One evening, when Ada was 9 years old, Ngozi received a letter from her aunt. It was short and curt, asking if she was well and telling her that family is important. There was no apology, no acknowledgement of the past, just a hollow attempt to reconnect after years of silence. The words on the paper burned, but it was the silence that followed that cut the deepest. Ngozi never responded. She knew that nothing could change the past. She realized, with deep sorrow, that no matter how much she longed for justice or reconciliation, some things could never be undone. The regret of lost years, the lost childhood, and the lost trust weighed heavily on her heart. And in the quiet of the night, as she held Ada close, she understood that some scars would never heal. The opportunity to confront her past had passed, and the regret of never being able to truly be a child, of never having a safe place to call home, would haunt her forever. She couldn't go back, but the silence of her broken family would echo in her soul for the rest of her days.